Okay, what a perfect place for this cutoff to be. Oh, this is gonna be a three-parter, yay. Okay, so it got back to me. Part 3, copyright. Don't use any of this. Thank you. We heard that people were actually kind of taking delight in the fact of what happened to us. And it wasn't blatant, but you know how people can be. So unfortunately, or fortunately for us, depending on how you look at it, it got back to us, and I'm like, oh God. There's one thing to blow off steam in the privacy of your own home with your Touchstone or your Confident versus actually expressing it and doing the things that you're talking about. That's what we have a problem with. Not everybody's gonna like me. I don't care. I really don't. Most people do like me. Nothing not to like about me because I help people and give people things. The people that don't like me are the evil, wicked people who don't like the fact that I'm whistleblowing, truth-saying, standing up for my rights, constitutional rights, you know? And I don't care if those people don't like me. I might not like them. Think about it. Consider the source. Why would I care or really even vie for the affection of evil people who are hurting me? You don't. Those people need to be put aside. And you say, you know what? Agape love, agape love. Over there, get away from me, stop. Okay? That's different. When you straighten out and you're normal, mature, professional, or just loving and a good person, then we can talk. Then there's something there. But so yeah, it got back to me, and I'm like, okay, now how do I apply this, everything that I'm saying, to said circumstances? Well, you know, I am angry and mad. I have a right to be. Funny, I was making a whole bunch of videos, and we wrote a whole bunch of dissertations, my husband, myself, family board, about what we've been going through and documenting the factual truth. And all of a sudden everybody was coming out in the media saying, I'm angry too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a leak somewhere. Because they were citing things in our dissertations as common as some of the elements may have been. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's too many of these things going on. This is a pattern. So we tracked it down. It's laughable. You have to laugh at some of the stuff because it is kind of comical. It just shows you how brain dead, unfortunately, a lot of these people are. I mean, if they're having to steal from me to be their mouthpiece when I was never agreed upon, I never agreed to be their mouthpiece for people that I don't even like, some of them, or where they stand. I'm like, I wasn't saying it for that purpose or that context, and taking things out of context. Not cool. So, yeah. So how do I apply this red ribbon? Once again. And I'm still in the process of it, as are we all on this end at Rubans Rouges, and Rubans Rouge Dance, and Red Ribbons, and everything that we do and are. It's not easy, guys. We have a lot of work to do to forgive. So the red ribbons also symbolizes that. It's such a beautiful, intense, immense, bigger than life thing. And I really wasn't doing it at first for that reason. As you know, the lore, which is not a lore, it's actual fact, proof. Yeah, the actual events. I say we, everything is we now, the board, my staff, it's we. I, at the time, you know, it was meant for one heart, one soul, to say, hey, just in case I'm vibing and getting what you're vibing, you can overcome it. I love you a lot. I know there's been a lot of this, and it could be because you know that I know, or you think I might know, or something. It doesn't matter. But I think that's what might have happened, you know? Because I still love, I know all this crazy stuff happened, but I still love that one. But what was meant for one heart went on to be meant for many hearts. And there are many voices that saw, oh my gosh, she's got such a great product, and she doesn't even realize. No, I knew. I worked for Aaron Spelling. I knew what I had, and so did he. He adored me. At least that I know. But I knew what I had, and so did other people, and so did he. What do you think happens to the genuine article? They don't want it to be the genuine article because there's jealousy, there's greed, there's like, they see I'm like walking dollar signs to them. Okay, well then do it the legitimate way. But then again, they also know that I don't need them. So that puts them in a bad predicament. It's like, the only thing left is stealing. And hopefully she won't say anything. Why anybody would think that, I don't know. Bad idea. But how do you apply it? That's what we're working on. That's what I'm personally working on too. And I don't have an answer for you. I am reaching out to my touchstones, plural, saying, SOS, how do I get through this and still remain standing and in good standing, and so far so good. Because the thing is, the one thing that evil does not have is truth on their side. I came up with this, okay? I don't want to hear another pastor regurgitating words from my little sermon, if you forgive me for a lack of a better term. My video, whatever. My vlog. I do have training, liturgical, I have training. We were associate pastors and music ministers, my husband and I, so, just saying, we know what we're talking about on that level too. And I just really want to say that when you have the truth, that is your weapon. It's your alibi, it's your shield. It's the shoes in which your feet are shod with. It becomes your helmet, it becomes your salvation. It's everything. The truth is everything. There is nothing less except a lie. The truth will be everybody's salvation in the spiritual, physical, mental, emotional sense of the word. Every aspect of the word. Real, factual truth. And that has also been what the red ribbons have been symbolizing for us of late, especially. It's truth. I had to find out the truth about what was done to me, and I'm still finding out more. I really find it fascinating and also a little disturbing at the same time, because the truth will illuminate that. The truth will illuminate people's intentions. The truth will illuminate facts. The truth will illuminate how people feel. The truth is amazing. It's beautiful, and yet we have people that are deconstructing our history, deconstructing people's character, people deconstructing the word and the meaning of truth. They're like, oh, that's your personal truth. Okay, that's fine. That's how you feel about it. But you have to use different labels. I'm talking about factual, hard, evidential truth. The end all be all. And yes, there is that. There is that. I was recently revisiting one of my volumes in my journals. Oh, I got plenty, guys, and I have copies in very safe hands. My journals. And the beauty that I found with this one exchange, and I actually read it online. I kept the identity safe, and I'm not claiming copyright for what that one human being wrote, because I respect that one human being, especially after what was done with my copyright. I'm like, yeah, I gotta respect them too. There is no, how can I say, the truth. There is a standard of arbitration. Gravity. We cannot see it, but yet we feel its effects. This is from my book. I actually have portions of my book memorized. It's so wonderful. I had to do little tricks like that after the accident from the concussion. Now my memory is sharper than it's ever been. It's amazing. It's like, whoa. but we can feel the effects of it. Just like the wind. We don't see the wind, but we see the effects of the wind. It'll caress our cheeks, gentle breeze, and unfortunately we have tornado, hurricane-like winds. Not so cool. Amazing force of nature. But we know wind exists. The dirt kicks up, so we know a tornado is there. Or the clouds. There's something that gives it physical manifestation. Truth is that. Truth is like gravity. You can argue against it all you want, but the truth is there. Gospel message, if you don't want to hear it, tune out. It's going to be very brief, maybe about a minute at most. But come back, please. The truth, the element of truth of the gospel message. You can deny it all you want. I was a denier for, so long. Just because I was raised Catholic didn't mean that I accepted Christ into my heart. Just because I claimed Christianity, just because I claimed to be of the Jewish faith and culture, didn't mean that I believed in God. That fruition, changes happens in the heart. As much as I denied any of it, didn't mean that the truth did not exist. Did not mean that Christ is not Savior. Did not mean that God is not the end-all be-all. You want to debate the fairy tale? Oh, God is just a fairy tale. Do you know there's a lot of things that people have created that were seen as supposed reality? We don't get fossil fuel from the dinosaur bones. That's another thing I can go off on. Another video. And we found that out too. Was that an intentional lie? Was that an intentional myth? Is that whole thing a myth? Really? Look at the museum plaques. They state exactly what's a supposed replica. I have a lot to say about truth. Dig, you will find the truth. Okay? Another thing about the element, let's talk about the standard of arbitration and what is truth and what is fact and what can be proven. This is a fake artificial tree. This can be proven. We can touch it. It's tangible. It's there. Let's talk about God. How do we prove it? Is it like the wind? We see a manifestation of it. A tornado picks up the dust. It's an action. The wind is an action. We can feel something blowing on our face. But catch it. Can you catch it? Try it. You can't catch the wind, my friends. But we can only feel its effects, and that's exactly what God is. We can only feel its effects and its manifestation, just as a tornado manifests with the dirt or the clouds kicking up, right? We as human beings are that manifestation. Plus, you know what? There is documented evidence and proof. If you diss it, you're dissing the Jewish nation, which apparently people take delight in doing. Don't! We are all part of the human race. There should be no discrimination. Your discrimination is against your own kind then. That was my quote too, that some people stole, the whole human race thing. It was on my social media and a long time before all these other people tried to backdate and steal it, but we found the truth of that too. Look guys, you cannot expect to escape gravity without something additional, right? You can't deny it, it's there. You have to work hard against it, don't you? Just as much as, hold on, my ears ringing. Ow. Side effects from the accident. Just like you can't, what was I saying? Gravity, you can't dispute it. If you have to work that hard to break its grasp, and you still have to work within physics, right? Maybe it's real. You know how many people have to fight to bury the truth of the gospel? And just look at it. It's just Jesus saying, I love you and I don't want you to go to hell. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. And a whole bunch of other things that just help you live a good life so you don't end up in jail, so you don't end up hurting yourself or other people. It's really good stuff. So you don't end up, getting sexually transmitted diseases. These things are there so you don't harm yourself. Okay? People need to like open their eyes and realize what it's all about. And I know some people, and Jay Leno made this joke too, and he went Man on the Street, you know that bit he did? And he said, can you tell me what's in the 10 Commandments? And people were saying, oh, it's a whole bunch of stuff you can't do. That's hilarious. I can laugh. It's funny. It's a funny response. Yeah, it can be seen that way, but no, it's a love letter. The whole thing was a love letter, and I argue and I am ticked off. Believe me, I am right there with you guys. The fact that I have to have a Red Ribbons ministry or mission or business or whatever you want to classify it as, depending on your faith background or not having one, it's hard. I'm right there too. You don't see me, well, our security cameras do, and the unethical ones who are taking stuff off of our security cameras do. But normally, you don't see me on my knees, praying, Lord, and getting mad at God too. What happened to me? Where were you when I needed you? Where were you when all these millions of children that were either aborted, raped, murdered? Just because I claim myself to be a follower of Christ does not mean that I have a good relationship with Him as far as being happy with Him all the time. I have a good relationship with Him, meaning I'm devout in my belief and I love Him. But doesn't mean just like a family member, He's deity. I don't mean it like that. I don't always get along with Him, and it pisses me off, and even worse, more intense words and graphic language, that He did not come to my rescue. And that He allowed all this. You know how hard it is to be challenged, but I'm like, what is the mystery of this? If you're good, why do you allow this? Well, I've come up with some answers. I have to believe that there's something better than this God-forsaken world. Number one, would you want to believe that this was it? Even if you're the richest person in the world and you have everything, do you want to believe that this hole is it? There's some beauty here, but why don't we inject it to mean that beauty is God? And then I'm asking myself, it's like, wait a minute, why am I always getting mad at God when things are just horrible? Why don't I get mad at His adversary? The fact that we're here on this planet means that we still have a choice, because we have the infusion of good and bad battling each other. If we only have bad, you gotta wonder where you are. If you have only good, then take delight in knowing that you've passed from this world and you're in the next. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? The fact that we still have choice to choose between good and evil shows that this is the battleground. This is not the stopping point. You have a choice. So you're in good standing as long as you still have that choice. As long as you still have breath in your lungs and you're breathing, you have choice. So when I say breathe, I'm talking about pneuma. I'm talking about that. How can I say? I think it was a Greek pneuma. I forgot. We still have the choice. A man's worth saving until he takes his last breath. I know that's been said before in different words throughout history, but somebody used that in their screenplay and made a whole film about that. They got it from my videos. Don't think we don't know how we found out. And you know where I got that from? That was from our original screenplay from decades ago. It was brilliant. My husband and I wrote it. And I know where he got it from. And it's documented and recorded, and you know, we had to just keep going back, and we found all of this. And it's like, well, we're covered. But when I'm saying breath, I have to just do these little side stories. It embellishes it, right? But the pneuma, the breath, to breathe in, you still have a choice. You can make that choice happen in a blink of an eye. It's a lie. You do not have all the time in the world that you think you do. How do I know? Go ahead. Tell me when you're going to pass on. You don't know. I don't know. People have tried. Recent. Yeah. Nice. But you don't know. You don't have all the time in the world. The media, like I'm bringing this full circle. The media lies. Not all of them. but there's a handful. They don't want us to be empowered with the truth because we outnumber them. And if we outnumber them, we can all change the world. They don't want me to speak. You see how my social media accounts are being suppressed. I'm not saying anything dirty, nasty, or wrong. There are people actually showing graphic things like poor animals being, slain. It's like, what is wrong with you people? And they're getting all these views and everything like that. That's not being censored, but I am. The shadow banning thing. And I'm like, it's evident to me you don't want me to speak. Otherwise, more people would be interacting. I'm not stupid. Plus, we have documentation and all that other stuff too. But besides that, which pisses me off. But all of this, I'm like, wait a second. You don't want me to speak the truth. Because God forbid the truth is known by more and more people. That means less people will believe the lie. What is that saying that's out there? Once we have convinced everybody of the lie, then we will know we have been successful. Isn't that how it goes, or something thereabout? I don't know who said it. Who said it? Let me know. I'll quote them, cite them as source. I didn't come up with that. But isn't that the truth? Everything you see is pushing you to a lie. My red ribbons were hiding a lie until I took them and extrapolated them and made them my truth. And I changed the definition and meaning personally in my life. You see how that happens? We found out too, these people, they text each other and they say, can you run the car by? It's a sound check. Because if my voice isn't loud enough to be heard, they have to have something. So it's a film trick that we used to do too. Not to record other people's voices, but on set, you have to have a sound check. So if I'm not talking enough and they want to be able to hear and record me, they have noise in the background or a honking horn and a siren. For 2 years, I was like, I can't get any creative work done with all this noise here. I was joking. I say things in jest and hyperbole. I get work done no matter what. Even in tragedy, while suffering, some of my best stuff comes out and they know it. So for 2 years, there was nothing. And I'm like, that's weird. And then they use that stuff as a sound check now. They think it drives me crazy. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Sorry, but I don't. But that's why you hear some of these things, because it's actually illegal for people to own vehicles that make that much noise like that. You remember Midasize it? Okay, okay, I get sidetracked. I get so excited sharing with you guys, and I haven't shared in a long time like this, right? So I had to turn my red ribbons around to mean something, to mean the truth. What is the truth? Guys, they're pulling wool over your eyes. They didn't like that I was taking it off of everybody. It drew too much attention to what certain people were doing. That is not good. And we need to start speaking up for those who cannot. The elderly, the ones who are being suppressed. Yeah, I kind of need a little, not much, but I do need help too, because I'm one of the voices. They know I can change the world. It wasn't my intention, but why not? I'm already on a roll. Might as well keep going. I want the world to be good. I mean, ultimately, it can't be completely good, because this is the battleground, this is the testing, this is, the threshing floor. But I have to do what God tells me to do. And no, I don't hear some audible voice. It's in your heart, You read the documentation. I'm very scientific and analytic. People thought I was more emotional, and I'm not. I'm very, very analytical, very hardcore, concrete evidence. I mean, I grew up with attorneys in the family. How do you escape that? You're going to have very sharp argument and debate skills. I do. So with that, coupled with my art, I wanted the one truth for the one soul to set them free. And that's all I intended it to be. But I had something, like I said. Getting back on track here. I had something and I knew it. I was seeing people broken in my arms, and they fell in my arms, and they did. They said it happened to me too. Sorry, but I'm owning what I own. I am not going to backpedal, and I'm not going to apologize. Again, I was never trying to make a Me Too movement. I was doing a Red Ribbons movement, but somebody said, hey, that's a great catchphrase. And then backdated everything, you know? That's not cool. Why do that? But, you know, whatever. You can have your thing, I have my thing. And I love the fact that I was able to help people. Not to say, hey, we're going to castrate you and humiliate you and make you nothing, even though you did nothing wrong. Just because there's a movement going on. You know what? Men are raped too. Little boys are raped too. You know what happened in the Catholic Church? You know, I question, maybe they were planted. People say, oh no, they're just drawn to that kind of thing, wherever there's kids, you know, like ant on a cookie. Could be. I'm not denying that. But let's also think about this too. See, with good analytical skills, you need to look, is there a greater picture here? Is there a corporation that purposely is trying to break down the Catholic Church? Something to think about. I would hate to think that was the truth. I hope not. I mean, I was hoping that all of that was not even true. But we gotta think about it. You know, thesis papers are developed based on what we think and our imaginations. It helps us create. But you have to take what imagination can be too fanciful, right? So you have to lasso that sucker. And you have to bring it down to the spine and foundation of reality. What is factual? So you look at that thesis, you make your thesis statement, and you work it, and you work it. If it doesn't work, throw it out, people. But it's worth exploring, not only because it's our constitutional right, but we may actually get to the heart of the matter and the truth. That is how you dig. It's investigative. I used to work for a private investigator. So you write all these different things down. This is possible, this is possible, this is possible. Is it likely? Is it logical? Is it, you know, you break it down, but you keep adding to it too. Motive, it's all part of it. And thus is what I've done with my red ribbons. I'm not satisfied until I know I have the actual truth. And yes, it is important. Otherwise, you're believing in a lie. And then you have to consider, well, if I'm believing in a lie, then I'm actually not living in reality. And I am just filtering things the wrong way. And it's actually causing death in your own life. Your soul is rotting. Every time you choose to believe a lie, you're rotting your own soul 1 ounce at a time. And then it becomes how you see things. See, that's why I can't live in unforgiveness, or anybody really can't. Or you can do whatever you want, I guess. But the repercussion from living the lie, hold on. Oh, I gotta wrap this up soon. The repercussion from living the lie is your demise on one level or another. So look for the truth, seek the truth, believe the truth, don't believe the lie. Because once they've got you, as I said that, I don't know if it's an exact quote, once you believe the lie, then they are successful. And I could not let the evil in this world succeed and tell me that this is my truth when I knew it was a lie. There's so much more. God bless it, there's so much more. Okay, so Touchstone we covered. We covered my whole red ribbon thing, why I do it, what it is. There's a 3-part video. I think it's only 3. Watch them all when you have time. Tell me what you think too. I'm actually kind of interested. Okay, so I'm wrapping.
Okay, good.
So I love you guys. Be blessed. Be well. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and all those other festivities. Be safe, be well. Much love from one heart that was meant for one heart has now. What a special place you have. All because of you. Love you.